Welcome inside the Acres Broadcast Center. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. Huskers women's basketball's Illinois game that was rescheduled from last January 22nd, that was last Saturday, has been moved to Tuesday, February 12th. That game will be played at 2 p.m. The program announced earlier today. Huskers baseball, we have a appearance tonight from Coach Will Bolt, who will join tonight's show in the first hour as the Huskers draw closer to their season opener in mid-February. Some further programming notes tonight. Huskers track and field head coach Gary Pepin will join us in the second hour, along with men's gymnastics head coach Chuck Chumelka. Looking at college basketball and the scoreboard tonight, it's a quiet night on the men's side in both the Big Ten and the top 25. No games in either category tonight. But on the women's side in the Big Ten, number 23 Iowa, currently at 13-4, will take on Northwestern at 11-7. That game is at 7 p.m. Central. And in the top 25 for the women, Arizona State is at number 2 Stanford. That game tips off at 8 p.m. And UCLA is at number 19 Oregon. That one's at 10 p.m. A couple of pro sports news. Andrew and I are dealing with a lot of Steelers nostalgia, and the Steelers did announce today that Kevin Colbert will retire after the 2022 NFL Draft. So Ben Roethlisberger yesterday made it official. Kevin Colbert today. Sad day in Steelers Nation. Jerry Jones backed head coach Mike McCarthy today, reaffirming his confidence in the head coach as well as the returning defensive coordinator Dan Quinn, who is a sought-after coaching candidate amongst the many teams that are looking for a new head coach going into next season. That's the ticker. My name is Tim Mulhaupt, and you're listening to Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Looks for Hyvee, foul line extended right side. Dribble penetration, Sammy drives and scores. Jim Hyvee.
Great finish by Nebraska. They're back within a possession. Here's McGowan's driving the ball to the rim and jams it right in the face of Payne. Posterized him. Put him on the poster. Burge puts his head down, drives it, floater off the rim, in and out. Offensive rebound, put back. Up and good by Walker. Up and good by Big D.
Moriarty going to take the baseline. And now she's going to drive underneath. Reverse layup. Good for Kendall Moriarty. Are you kidding me?
Now that is a big-time one-handed reverse layup by Moriarty.
12:45 to go. Here's Trey McGowan's with a three. Got it! Trey McGowan's his first three-point attempt of the year. After sitting all these games with a broken foot, his first shot is gold.
82-73, the Iowa lead out top. Markowski for three. You betcha! Markowski has hit 6 threes.
Unbelievable.
And she's got 27 points.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome. We're at the end of the week here on Sports. I'm so glad you're going to spend a little bit of your Friday night with us. We do, as Tim just outlined. We're going to have some head coaches joining us here on the program. Baseball, men's gym, track and field. And so a whole smorgasbord of different Husker sports to talk with you about tonight. Also, if you're driving by the stadium, the screens are on again. That's because it's another Junior Day weekend for Husker football. They're going to welcome 20 to 25 young prospective student athletes on campus. They were really happy, Jessica, with what last week was. They really liked the batch that they brought in last week. Recruiting never stops, and these aren't guys that can sign here next week. These are guys that can't sign until next December that they're trying to get involved with Huskers.
Yeah, walking in, they've got all highlights playing on all the screens, and it's lit up red, and you can always tell when it's a big weekend around here. But again, a lot of these kids, you want to get on them now, and some of them might commit this weekend. You never know. And even just getting that first impression and with these new coaches. So, yeah, huge weekend.
I was in the office yesterday, and they were really excited about two things. One, the weather's going to be pretty good this weekend. Yeah. That always helps. And two, they were really glad that there's a men's game tomorrow that they can take the guys to, because they can get them to show them kind of what Husker spirit is like. So they're really glad that there's a basketball game on a Saturday that they can run them by.
Yeah, because, I think I said this last night, or a couple nights ago, I've had people that have texted me that have from afar that have watched some of Nebraska games that are have commented on, wow, look how faithful the fans are, and the team hasn't even been winning. They haven't won in a while, and so the fact that they're sticking with them and they support them and they still have one of the top attendances, I think, ranked in the Big Ten. I was noticing that the other day. I don't know recently, but I know it was like in the top 3 in the Big Ten and probably in the country too. But just the fact that the way that fans show up, that is a huge selling point. Because it's not like that everywhere. I can promise you that. You can go to a men's basketball game and it won't have as many people as what you're going to see on Saturday.
Well, every sport on campus utilizes football home games for
right.
recruiting, so it's nice that football can go and show them some other Husker spirit and what that's going on, so they'll be able to do that. Also, some really good news today for some former Huskers is Cam Jurgens and Austin Allen both got their official invite to the Combine. That makes 4 now for Nebraska that will be in Indianapolis here in about a month to go to the NFL Combine. And I kind of felt like, particularly for Austin Allen, Jessica, he was really overlooked when the first batch of invites went out. But apparently he's opening some eyes this week at the Senior Bowl workouts.
A week ago tonight, wasn't it? We had Jeremiah on, and he was saying that he thought he was close, that he was right there. And he just said there's a lot of tight ends in this draft. And, for Austin Allen, we didn't know, and he hadn't announced until later in the season, so that might have played into it that he didn't initially, even though he was the Big Ten tight end of the year, he made his kind of decision that he was going to go to the NFL late in the process, and so, but Jeremiah said he was right there, knew that he could play his way into it this week, and that's exactly what he did. I was told by Jeremiah, and then I have a friend that's a scout, that Austin Allen absolutely made the play of the week, and it's on, the video's actually on Twitter. I think Jeremiah retweeted it, but he made a heck of a grab, and he made a lot of good plays this week. So he played himself into getting that invite. And then just with, I think just the numbers that people probably are gathering about Cam Jurgens and how well he's going to test, a lot of people want to see what he's going to do on that front. And he's another guy that decided late that, again, it just takes some time, and there's such a big class. It's, Jeremiah was saying that it is just one of the biggest draft classes they've had with the COVID and people coming back. And so probably just figuring out who to give invites to. And the thing about the Senior Bowls and a lot of these All-Star games is that it's only to seniors, whereas the Combine can be, underclassmen as well. So you kind of just got to figure out, you can't just have everybody that's going to get drafted and eligible go to this. You got to figure out the guys that legitimately have those chances.
That those two will join Cam Taylor-Britt and JoJo Doman, who got invites earlier. So there'll be 4 Huskers in Indianapolis in a few weeks, and we certainly wish them well. They're all really good young men and will represent Nebraska very, very well. And I think all 4 have a very good chance of being drafted. I think the 2 that got it today are definitely going to get drafted.
Yeah.
I think they're definitely going to get picked in the draft. All right, let's talk some hoops. We'll start with the men. They were the first game yesterday. I was really impressed with them not really practicing much, Jessica, for the last 10 days. How they competed in the first 10, 15 minutes of the game. I thought in a lot of ways they matched Wisconsin, ranked 11th in the country, for those first 10 to 15 minutes. And then they hit a lull for about the next 15 minutes of the game where the Badgers built the 18-point lead. And to the Huskers' credit, they did not give up, whittle it down to 8 for the final. But I didn't know what to expect when they hadn't really practiced for 10 days, what that might look like. It didn't look bad to start the game.
Yeah, no, the initial start, and that's what Coach Hoiberg talked about, how important it was going to be for them to get out to a good start. They did, and then, I thought they did a good job defensively against Wisconsin for the most part. I mean, I know they got hot and hit some threes from the outside, but, just those stretches of not being able, to find any offensive rhythm, and then the other team Wisconsin is able to stretch it out. We've seen that a couple different times this season where Nebraska's right there in a game, and then, they can't seem to get something going. They can't get, a bucket, and then the other team just extends the lead, and then it kind of becomes too big of a mountain to climb and get over.
The Badgers were red hot from three-point range in the first half. They made 9 threes. They were 9 of 14 from behind the line. That was really the difference in the first half. If they don't make 9 out of 14, Nebraska might have had the lead at the half. Then the Huskers on the first possession of the second half, Lat got free for a dunk, and then Nebraska, I think, missed their next 9-10 shots in a row, and that's when the Badgers opened it up. But that's a really good team. That's the 11th ranked team in the country. They're currently tied for first in the league. It was going to be a difficult game for the Big Red, and now quick turnaround, because now they come right back tomorrow to play Rutgers. at a 5:30 tip-off, and that's one of the reasons that Fred Hoiberg wanted that afternoon game yesterday, to give his team a little bit more recovery time to try to get ready for Rutgers. I think they can certainly hang with Rutgers. I think at some point it's going to bounce Nebraska's win. They're going to get one of these in the win column.
Yeah, and they didn't play well at Rutgers, and you got to think that's a game that they want back, and they'll come out pretty fired up because, we talked a lot about it on Wednesday about especially at home, they fought really hard against some really good teams, and they've been right there against some good teams, and so the fact that how they played Rutgers there, I know that they were not happy with that performance at all. So to get a chance to come back home where they've played pretty well and, get that game underneath their belts against Wisconsin and get back on the court, hopefully get a much, much, much needed win. This team needs a win so badly, and it will be fascinating to see what will happen if they can get a little bit of confidence with getting a win underneath their belts.
Now, turning to the women, that was like the perfect game to come out of a break. You're playing an overmatched Wisconsin team. I apologize to the guys earlier, as I said they'd win by 30. We won by 33. But it was perfect because Amy Williams could spread the minutes out. She didn't stress anybody. We mentioned that last night starts a stretch of 4 games in 8 days, so they're going to be tested with their depth over the next week. But really encouraging. What a fun night. Australia night. You had a couple of parents who had not seen their daughters play in college that were in the stands from Australia. That was a fun night for the Huskers.
You know what's scary, Greg, is that they kind of said that they kind of came out a little bit sluggish, that they were a little bit rusty, and they still won by 33. I mean, I kind of felt like that could be maybe something but yeah, the way that they could work out a little bit of kinks against Wisconsin after having such a weird, past 10 days, and you'll hear Izzy Bourne talk about it. But yeah, it was a fun night. It was awesome. Jazz Shelley, what's crazy is she hadn't scored until late or midway through the fourth quarter, but she almost had a double-double in rebounds and assists. Yeah. And she's the kind of player with her parents there too, but she's the kind of player, she doesn't care if she scores, whatever she's got to do to help the team. And so the fact that she was so close to a double-double without even scoring, I mean, it's just, there's so many different weapons. And Sam Hybie, we were concerned she might not even play.
I didn't think she would.
And, her getting back out there and Bella starting, getting her healthy was something that was really positive to see. So there's a lot of positives to take away from that game, and they still felt like they, needed that one because they did feel a little bit rusty, a little bit sluggish kind of coming out initially out of the gate, but I think they got a lot of things worked out by the end of the game.
And Purdue's next for them on Sunday, and that'll be a bigger challenge. Purdue's a nice, solid team that will certainly test Nebraska more than Wisconsin did. But we said for the last 10 days, well, I hope this COVID thing doesn't last too long, because this was the stretch of schedule that Nebraska could rack up some wins, start jumping teams in the Big Ten standings, and it started off on the right foot with that one last night. Also today, Tim mentioned it in the ticker that they have rescheduled the Illinois game. It will be 2 weeks from tomorrow on the 12th of February, so they're going to get that game in. That's going to be a long road trip. They're going to play that week at Maryland on Sunday, at Ohio State Thursday, and then at Illinois on Saturday. But again, you don't want to miss a game. Particularly, you want to keep building your resume for March and for the tournament. So I'm glad they're able to find a time to play it.
Well, and like you said, I mean, it's the top half of the Big Ten is pretty tough, and then you've got some teams at the bottom that are not so tough. And Nebraska's played a lot of those tough teams already, and so just to move up in those standings, these teams that you have a very good chance to beat. You want to play those to continue to move yourself up in those standings. And so those were a couple of games that were absolutely very winnable games that at least you get scheduled, and even though it's on the road, you get a chance to get another one in the win column, which moves you up in the standings there.
Yeah, you look at the bottom of the standings is kind of Wisconsin, Illinois are kind of right down there. So you want to get those in because you want to, like I said, keep building the resume up. But 14th win last night for the Huskers. They didn't win 14 games all last year. Now, I know last year was a condensed schedule. They didn't play as many games as you normally would. But to sit there at 14-4, what a great job by Amy Williams and that staff, and that team continues to pedal on. They again play Purdue Sunday, 2 o'clock at PBA, and then they'll be back at the PBA Hardwoods next Tuesday night. We do have a full show coming up for you. Husker baseball began practice today. They will open their season in 3 weeks in Huntsville, Texas against Sam Houston State. Had a chance to catch up with Will Bolt before they had their workout today. We'll play that back for you here in just a couple of minutes. In hour number 2, Jessica caught up with Isabel Bourne, after last night's game, one of the Aussies, to talk to her about that experience. That had to be fun for her to get out there and play. So we'll hear that conversation coming up in the second hour. Men's track and field, and all track and field, men's, women's indoor season. They're week 3. They're competing this week in the Adidas Classic at the Devaney Center. Gary Pepin's going to stop by and give us an update on what his team looks like. The men currently ranked 12th in the country, and he's really excited about some of the young stars on the women's side. So we'll hear from Gary coming up in hour number 2. Men's gym off to Ann Arbor to play a top 3 ranked team in the Michigan Wolverines tomorrow in a duel with the Wolverines. Coach Schmelka will join us to talk about his squad and how they get going. They only have 2 home meets. They'll have one next week with Penn State, so not many chances to see the men, but they've gotten themselves off to a good start. So packed show coming your way here tonight. Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Acres Equipment, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. We're back to talk some baseball with the head coach, Will Bolt. That's next.
Get your ice cold Bud Light seltzer here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery.
Hey, Bud Light!
I'm ready!
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Step into the new year with a new Chevy. Discover the 2022 Traverse, Blazer, or Equinox. The Chevy SUV lineup brings more than looks to the table. Our SUVs come equipped with Chevy Safety Assist, so you can look and feel confident while driving. We make it easy to shop, finance, and purchase through our streamlined process. Find new roads and explore all our new inventory arriving daily at woodhousegm.com and at our dealership in Missouri Valley, Iowa.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
Here is a before winter to-do list from J-Tech Construction. Let's start with windows. Triple pane window technology has saved homeowners countless dollars on heating and cooling bills. Siding serves a crucially important purpose, protecting your home and insulating it from adverse weather conditions. And don't forget about your roof. Designing your roof should be simple and painless, and J-Tech offers several payment plan options. One more thing on your to-do list, call J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
If your business communication slows down, your business slows down. Kidwell can help. Kidwell streamlines your company's communications with phone systems that work the way you work, in the office or on the road. Kidwell systems provide the unified communications features your users demand, like voicemail to email, instant messaging, and calendar integration. And Kidwell will be there providing training, service, and support to make sure you get the most out of your investment. Don't let communications problems slow down your business. Visit KidwellInc.com.
Hey Husker fans, this is Anne-Marie from the Nebraska Beef Council. Just like the Big Red wins on the court, you can win at the dinner table with great tasting beef. From steaks and roasts to ground beef and kebabs, there are countless ways to create a meal that will have your family cheering for more. Visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com for easy beef recipes, cooking tips, and meal inspirations. Beef, it's what's for dinner in Nebraska.
Brought to you by Nebraska's beef producers and their beef checkoff.
Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Back here on Sports Highlight today, the opening day of baseball practice for the Cornhuskers. The 2022 Nebraska baseball team will get after it, and delighted to be joined now by head coach Will Bolt. I know you, the staff, the players, probably really ready to get this thing going.
Yeah, we're fired up. We've been going for a couple of weeks now with some small group stuff and skill instruction. Been outside a couple days, so it's been fun to watch this team grow up. We kind of see the talent was there in the fall, but trying to mesh the personalities and the youngsters with the veteran guys and just kind of get that true team chemistry going. It's been fun to watch this team grow, and I'm excited to get everybody together for official team practice.
Let me start with this. Everybody around here is going high and tight. What's the deal? I know it was a really cool thing you had last night.
Yeah, it's something that Rob Childress brought with him from Texas A&M. We did it, I think, all 5 years. I was at Texas A&M with him, and it's called Versus Cancer. We raise money for children's pediatric cancer, brain cancer, and just different things. And so we were able to raise over $23,000 over the course of mid-fall, early spring. Kind of culminates with usually you're going to do it maybe with a fan fest or something like that. We just did it kind of in a small group setting with this COVID deal still kind of swirling around our heads. Just wanted to kind of do it more in a small setting, but yeah, everybody shaved their heads and kind of just a sign of solidarity to stand behind the pediatric cancer and for the funds that we raised.
That's really cool. You guys should be commended for being able to do that. All right, you left fall ball, and I think you're pretty encouraged with the team that you have. What has transpired with this group since late October to now?
Yeah, like I said, you're really looking at the development of the team chemistry. That was basically all of late October, early November was spent just getting that mentality down the way we needed to see it. A lot of times when you have so many newcomers, they have no idea, how to handle themselves over the course of a college baseball season. In the fall is just they're trying to keep their head above water, so it's harder to kind of immerse yourself in the team. So that's what we really did in November, was just have some of those team building activities with the guys, and had some fun with it. Did some mental toughness training as well, and I really saw when everybody came back after break, guys were in great shape. They were ready to go. But also just to see kind of the way the team is working together is a step in the right direction.
That was so important, I thought, your chemistry last year, and you had such a veteran team with the Hallmarks and the Ackers and Schwelly as well in there. And so that's probably what we're trying to replicate.
Yeah, you're going to have a hard time. That was just kind of organic because those guys you had a roster full of guys that had played together for 3 or 4 years, so they know themselves inside and out. So that kind of happens just naturally with the team when they've been together so long, and so many guys have played together so long. So you're gonna every team's going to be a little bit different, but at the end of the day, we can't just be a collection of talent. We've got to be a team. And so how do we go about doing that? It's what our habits look like on a daily basis. Are we invested in our teammates' success? Are we, enjoying each other on and off the field, like just little things like that where we've made it a big point. I feel like we've got some guys that have stepped to the forefront from a leadership standpoint that have seen how important that is with a team. It's not just about going out there and playing and out-talenting people. If you've got talent and you play as a team, you've got a chance to win a lot of games. So we're motivated to do that.
Are there some names of guys that you kind of see as grabbing leadership roles on this group?
Yeah, we've got probably a couple of pitchers in particular, a couple position players, and even some younger guys have stepped up. Cam Chick, fourth-year guy, been a big part of everything that we've done here, been very selfless, played third base, played second base, played outfield, DH'd. He's switch hit. He's been a left-handed hitter only, so he's done a lot of different things and been in some big games, both as a freshman and then last year as a third-year player. So he's a guy that's really he cares a lot. He's kind of in that mold now of like giving back to the program. He's a fourth-year guy, so he's stepped up from a leadership standpoint. Griffin Everett, by virtue of his position, our starting catcher for most of the season last year, really stepped up vocally this fall. And then Shea Shanneman and Kyle Perry on the mound, two guys that we look to potentially lead us into the weekend, fourth-year guys in a program. And, you got your Bryce Matthews, who's got a lot of leadership qualities even as a sophomore. And there's some other guys in there, too, that have done a nice job.
And visiting with Will Bolt, Husker baseball coach here on Sports Honor. You mentioned Perry and Shanneman. I would imagine those are two guys that might factor into the weekend. What does the weekend pitching look like for you?
Yeah, you nailed it. Those two guys they're probably the most battle-tested in the group. They perform the best. We didn't see Perry a lot in the fall as far as like scrimmages go, but he pitched an additional 4 weeks after the fall season was over. Once his arm got in shape, velocity's back up, slider is a little sharper than what we've seen, and he's got a changeup going now that really makes him tough because he throws that glove side fastball so much that gets the right-handers thinking about the inside pitch. Changeup is awfully tough for them. So super competitive. We know, kind of his mentality. And Shea has really just turned into a pitcher. I think at times last year he had some self-inflicted damage where, an inning could kind of get away from him with a 3-run homer as opposed to a solo shot maybe. Better understanding of how to locate his pitches. The cutter-slider combination still as good as ever, and he's added a changeup too, which has been huge against lefties. So those two guys are probably 1A, 1B right now. Not sure quite yet who's going to start on Friday, who's Saturday, but I think those two guys will probably lead us into the weekend. And then you've got a pretty good list of quality arms that could fill in the Sunday spot, Tuesday spot. Now that we get to play midweek games again, we've got 4-game weekends. 2 of the first 3 weeks. So there's probably another 5 guys in that mix right now that we're stretching out that are either going to be third starter, fourth starter, or long relief.
3 weeks from today, you open it. So between now and then, what answers do you still need? Maybe a spot here or there on the field, maybe in the back end of the bullpen. What are you looking at for the next 3 weeks?
Yeah, I feel like we've got a pretty good grasp of what the infield is going to look like. You got Anderson and Matthews probably on the left side, Core Jackson, super talented freshman at second base has really stepped up. You got Efry back kind of in that mix to play anywhere that you need. Jack Style, got a lot of experience as a freshman last year at first, and Everett behind the plate. So the outfield's pretty open. You figure Cam Chick's going to be in the lineup every day. After that, there's a lot of jobs up for grabs. Whether Chick's playing left, right, or center remains to be seen. But we got to solidify some of those spots. Closer spot, somebody needs to step up and kind of take the reins of that. But like I said, I think probably the strength of this team is the veteran pitching staff. Some of our top guys are 4th or 5th year guys, and that you rarely see that as far as being able to have quality stuff and be that old. Most of the time the draft snags those guys up. So I'm excited. It makes me sleep better at night knowing that we've got a veteran pitching staff and that feel like we're going to throw strikes with good stuff. Just continue to see some of how these battles play out.
Mentioned 3 weeks from today, Sam Houston State, your opening weekend. How do you feel about the schedule? And I know you had a curve thrown at you in like mid-November to have to replace a weekend. How do you feel like the schedule sets up?
Yeah, Sam Houston State is going to be a quality team. They're always they're in that mid-major realm, but they're always a regional team. They're winning that conference most years, regional champs just a few years ago. They're used to winning, so that's going to be a good battle there to start the season with those guys. TCU, they're going to be a team that has a chance to go to Omaha. A lot of talent. Kirk Sarloo's first-year head coach, got a lot of respect for him and the job that he's done, especially with his pitching staffs. And that'll be fun to play in the Rangers ballpark there. We know we're going to be able to get the games in because we're going to be climate controlled. And then we'll go back to Arlington again and play 4 games in 2 days. So a couple doubleheaders, but I think we've got some pitching depth that can hold up for that. And it'll give us a chance with these 4-game weekends to see plenty of some of our young guys too on the mound.
Then you come back a little batch of home games, and I'm told that season ticket sales are going great. It's going to be fun to play a lot of games here in March.
Yeah, we've got Long Beach State coming in, I think, for our first series at home. They're ranked nationally to start the year. They finished really strong last season. That's going to be a good test. I feel like we've got a strong home schedule. Midweek games with our conference foes here, Michigan coming back here again, and so it's going to be a good schedule. We're excited for it. Hopefully the weather holds up for us, and we can get all the games in.
I don't have to tell you this, but there's a buzz about your program, not only locally but nationally. You're showing up on some preseason top 25s. How do you balance being excited about that, but also tell your guys we got to remain hungry?
Yeah, it's a pretty consistent message that we have with our team. It's just, I know it sounds cliche and a little bit mundane at times, but we're really focused on winning the day. It's just being at our very best on any given day. The coaches holding players and each other to that standard, players holding each other and the coaches to that standard, and just giving that type of effort every day and really not focusing on any sort of outside noise one way or the other to motivate us. The motivation is we want to be great, and we've got enough guys on our team that see we've got talent. If we practice a certain way, it's going to allow us to go play a certain way, where we're not going to make it bigger than it is, and you don't necessarily play the opponent or the venue. So that's our motivation, is to day give it our best. And so I think when you do that, you give yourself a better shot of blocking out the outside noise.
Last thing for you, and it's an individual question. It's about Max Anderson. He's getting an awful lot of accolades, preseason Conference Player of the Year. How does he handle that stuff? You would never have any clue that any of this stuff has been put in front of him. I mean, he's the same kid every day, and I'm super proud of him defensively and how far he's come, how hard he's worked to really get more comfortable at third base. He just goes about his business the way that Max always has. He's an unassuming kid. He's a hard worker. He's a great teammate. He'll do whatever it takes to win on any given day. And I have not seen 1 ounce of him even think about. I have not had a conversation with him about it. He has not brought it up. He would be the last one to bring something like that up. He's just Max, and now he's got a shaved head, and he's. I think that's going to make his mom happy. It makes me happy too that he got a haircut. I'm sure. All right, great to see you. Good luck the next couple of weeks. Let's get this thing rolling. All right, sounds good, Sharpie. Thanks. There he is, Will Bolt, the head baseball coach of the Cornhuskers. Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse, first 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. Jessica will rejoin me next.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Welcome to Ag Answers. Today we're talking about renewable biofuels like corn ethanol and soy biodiesel. Electric vehicles continue to make headlines as we look for ways to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. But did you know by using ethanol, you can reduce greenhouse gas emissions by up to 46% compared to traditional gasoline, and by up to 86% when you use biodiesel compared to petroleum diesel? Locally produced biofuels are the here and now solution to combating climate change. They are good for our air, good for our wallets, and good for Nebraska. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. During the summer of 2021, 3 UNL students helped safeguard cattle across the state. Neely Anderson, Tatiana Jones, and Ashton Commons developed secure beef supply plans that prevent the spread of disease outbreak. The plans protect nearly 850,000 cattle across our state and provide greater economic security for this vital industry.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today we're tackling the issue of GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. GMOs may sound scary, but they're actually benefiting our environment and consumers. That's because GMO crops help solve specific problems like insects, food waste, and droughts. By selecting good traits from one plant or organism and adding them to another, farmers are safely using science to produce high-quality foods better than ever before. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he's so cold. The furnace is out again. But wait, he sees an opening. SOS! SOS, he screams and calls 391-2336. SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer. Boy, he made the right call today as SOS is already on the way. SOS is your trustworthy company since 1950, and with Luxair, you get free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. Call 391-2336 or visit soshvac.com today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to listen in on a transmission from Major Laura Stanton, the first person on Mars after a 7-month mission to the planet.
Houston, do you read me?
Copy that, Major. Anything you need?
Yeah, what were last night's Powerball numbers?
With the starting jackpot in the millions and drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, everybody wants to know about Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery.
What's it look like there, Major?
Red.
Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Is your business's data cabling outdated? Do you need help with fiber optic cabling projects? Give Kidwell a call. Kidwell doesn't just help you handle today's demands, they help you see beyond, making sure that every component works in unison to meet the demands of your growing business. Kidwell keeps your connections clearly labeled and organized, maximizes performance, and saves time when any maintenance or service is needed. Don't settle for patchwork quick fixes. Make Kidwell your technology partner. Visit kidwellinc.com. That's kidwellinc.com.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Hello, I'm Tom Osborne.
And I'm Coach Frost.
Statistics prove that youth who are mentored and receive support and guidance from a caring adult show measurable improvement in academic achievement, motivation to succeed, and hope.
Over the past 30 years, Teammates has served more than 43,000 youth, and right now there are more than 1,000 waiting for a Teammates mentor to visit with them once a week in school.
For more information on how you can help the Teammates Mentoring Program, please go to teammates.org, and thank you for supporting our youth.
Sponsored by Nebraska Crossing Fast Cash app.
Here in our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you on a Friday night. Phone lines are open for you, 402-413-2400. That also doubles up as our text line if you want to fire off a text as well. Good to hear from Coach Bolt. Jessica, last night they did a really cool thing. I was over there today, and they all have their heads shaved, and they did it to support and raise money for pediatric brain cancer. A really cool thing that, as he mentioned, Rob Childress, who came back to Nebraska after being the A&M head coach for years, he had done that down there and wanted to keep it going here in Lincoln. Really cool thing.
That's really cool. I love that. I know a couple of baseball teams have done that throughout college, and it's neat to see a team all come together, especially, there's some guys that really are proud of their hair,
yeah.
and for them to kind of sacrifice that and do it for a bigger cause and to bring awareness is just so big, and it brings the team together too. I mean, I think it's just to do stuff like that, and it's such a good reminder that, hey, it's bigger. There are things bigger than this game, and there are kids that are battling that would love to have the opportunity and to play this game and can't because of certain circumstances they might be going through with cancer. So I love that. I think it's awesome. And who has the best bald head, by the way?
I'm looking at the picture from last night because they tweeted out a picture of all of them after they got their hairs trimmed, and I don't know. I mean, it's hard. It's some guys.
Why didn't we get Andrew in on that deal?
Well, he conveniently said he had to work a basketball game last night, so he couldn't go.
You think Andrew would ever shave his head?
No, I don't think Andrew.
I've seen he has a picture of when he had a shaved head, and he looks different for sure.
So that team, there is, as I told Coach, I said there's a buzz about his team, and he's like, yeah, we just don't really pay much attention to that. We just know we have work to do on a daily basis, and I think that's part of why they're successful. So they just keep tunnel vision, keep looking ahead.
It's crazy, like even, because I first got here, my first day was the day that they ended up getting beat in the game 3 at Arkansas. And it's even since then, there's still been such a buzz about this team, this program, and we get people texting in, we got people in the chat talking about it, and it's consistent, and there's a lot of excitement around this program. I think watching them, and it was just such a fun story, and it was a fun team to watch. I mean, that was one of the first things that Trev Alberts said when I interviewed him when he got hired about how much he enjoyed watching that baseball team. I think a lot of people enjoy, just like you said, they went to work and they played it the right way, and it was just even if you weren't necessarily all embedded in here, it was easy to get attached and fall in love with that team and that program. I mean, it's just done the right way, and I think that's why everyone's so excited to see another round of it this coming spring.
3 weeks from tonight, they'll be in Huntsville, Texas, taking on Sam Houston State's good, solid baseball program down there. So they'll have their work cut out their opening weekend of the season.
It'll be warm down there, right?
Hopefully warmer. 2 weeks from today, softball begins. They go up to Cedar Falls, Iowa, University of Northern Iowa. They have an indoor facility, the Dome. They'll be playing a weekend tournament up there. And so 2 weeks, the ball bat sports start in 2 weeks. How crazy is that?
It's crazy. I'm excited, though. I enjoy college softball. I love watching the game. So I'm excited. And, I mean, Coach Ravel, they don't get any nicer than her. So I'm excited. I watched them play a little bit in fall ball. Yeah. And so I'm excited to watch them and baseball, obviously, both teams.
We need to catch up with Coach Ravel before they depart for Cedar Rapids. I think they play week 1 there, and then they go down to Las Cruces, New Mexico to play week 2. So that's where they're headed to begin their season. Still, this is really a crazy time of year because all this stuff is going on. Wrestling has a weekend off. We're watching some wrestling on BTN tonight. They've got a couple of Big Ten duels going on. Wrestling's got kind of a weird weekend off, but that's fine. They're back on the mat, back home next weekend. You got indoor track that's going on. We're going to hear more about that. Women and men's gym has gotten going. Swimming is going on right now over at the Devaney Center. They're taking on Rutgers right now.
I didn't see what the final stats were. We got on before I was watching all of it during the 5 o'clock hour, but I think it ended right when we started, so I didn't see what the final stats were, but it picks up again tomorrow. But it's senior weekend. Rutgers is a big rival in the pool, so it's a big weekend for them. I always tell people, because I think people just assume that football season is the busiest time of the year, but at least with football, it's a schedule that exactly what's coming every single day. I always think the spring, March is the busiest time, March and April, because it's just, you got all these sports going on, and it can be any day of the week, and there's no consistency as to when things happen on any given day.
We have a crypto in the chat room thinks Tim needs to shave his head.
I was going to say Tim also needs to get in on that deal. Because we have people comment on how his hair's getting out of control when he does the ticker.
All right. Well, we could probably arrange something. Maybe we should do that live on the air.
I think we should, yeah. I have clippers at home. Remember we had the whole discussion in the summer about sheep?
We did.
Was it sheep shearing?
You were sheep shearing.
Was an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
I could handle that job.
That would be really cool.
Do it.
We also, people want to hear us talk about this. This is championship weekend for the NFL, the AFC and NFC championship games. You got to lean on or I know you're pulling for the Bengals. Are you picking the Bengals to win, or that's just a team you're going to pull for?
I don't know. I think I'm pulling for them, but I think the Chiefs are going to win.
Okay. How about the NFC?
Oh, I mean, it's hard to argue what the 49ers have got going on. they've found some ways to win and knocked off some teams they weren't supposed to, and so I don't know.
And they've won 6 straight against the Rams.
Yeah.
How about that? That's hard to do. The Chiefs, I think, are the better team. I think they win the AFC. I'm with you. I've gone back and forth. I'll go Rams just because it's hard to beat somebody 7 straight, right?
Yeah.
But you're right. Niners have won in Dallas and Green Bay. Those are impressive wins.
And they just are finding ways to win, and everyone keeps doubting them, and they just are, knocking off teams they're not supposed to. So I don't know. I mean, it hopefully will be a repeat of how fun last week's games were, though.
It's going to be tough to do. Those were so good. I don't know that it's going to do that. Chiefs and Bengals play Sunday at 2. The NFC game then starts about 5:30. That'll take you into the primetime hours. Also, in the chat room, they're asking about the Olympics. 1 week from now, they're getting going in Beijing, and so we'll probably have the TVs all cranked up on Olympic coverage in about a week.
It's so weird. We just watched the Olympics.
The summer, right?
So, but I'm excited. I like the Winter Olympics. I like like watching the snowboarding, the half pipe stuff, and all of that. So there's some fun. So I like the summer better, but I do. There are some fun winter sports to watch. So
that'll be fun. So just add to the craziness of everything that's going on. Middle of the basketball seasons, you've got wrestling, you got track, you got.
By the way, how's your curling studying going?
I do really enjoy watching the curling. I don't know a ton about it, and I have not had time to really dig into a lot of the intricacies of it, but I do enjoy watching.
I did tell the bench mob that I passed along your suggestion of doing curling
it'd be perfect
for a
for 'em.
celebration.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they get it done.
That and the
I
bobsled.
think they've gotten a flood of suggestions recently.
I'm sure.
So they had a few exciting ones yesterday, so we'll see if they can get to curling. But
Who's the mob boss again?
Whitney Brown.
Whitney Brown.
Yeah. So I made sure to pass it along. I passed along to the mob boss herself, so that you said you wanted to see some curling.
I'm sure they'll get on it.
If you would have studied it, then maybe you could pass along for them how to do it.
Flip a little tape on. They can watch, see how to get a little sweeper out there and get going on all that. That'll be fun. Hey, our Sports Sunday Hotline is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. Phone lines, text lines open for you. 402-413-2400. Back with our final segment of Hour 1 next.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to listen in on a transmission from Major Laura Stanton, the first person on Mars after a 7-month mission to the planet.
Houston, do you read me?
Copy that, Major. Anything you need?
Yeah, what were last night's Powerball numbers?
With the starting jackpot in the millions and drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, everybody wants to know about Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery.
What's it look like there, Major?
Red.
Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Shelter Agent Travis Hawk in Scottsbluff and ask about Shelter's competitive rates.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey, Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office, 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question. And we still have a few minutes left in this hour. We're going to hear from Izzy Bourne coming up in hour number 2. She was a part of that Husker 33-point shellacking of Wisconsin last night at PBA. I don't know if the boys are too excited about getting their hair shaved. I don't get a lot of real
they don't like
fun,
those
warm
suggestions.
Fuzzies from over here.
I knew Andrew wouldn't be about it. I thought maybe Tim would be, on board with it, but guess not.
Yeah, well, we'll keep working on them. I think after a ticker segment, maybe we could just do it right here in the studio. We'll put down a little plastic on the floor to catch all the hair and go do. Can't do it on me. I got nothing to work with, so I'm out. I'm out to start with. So it's got to be one of the young bucks in the room here.
Maybe Jeremiah would get involved. Yeah, that dude would be.
Jeremiah looked
least likely
like
to
professor.
Do it of anybody.
He looked like a professor with you last week. He was wearing his glasses. He looked like he was trying to be sophisticated or something.
So I was waiting for him, he was waiting for me to get in to record, and he was just sitting there wearing his football helmet for like 5 minutes.
Do we have a picture of that at least? Did we get a snap of that?
I put it out on Twitter. It's like, tell me you're ready for football season without, or tell me you miss Nebraska football without telling me you miss Nebraska football. It's a TikTok trend, Greg. And but yeah, he was just sitting there with this football helmet on, and Mike, who was waiting, he had it recording, just sent me a picture of him just sitting there in his studio wearing his helmet.
That's nice.
So yeah.
Tim in Minnesota says, give me downhill skiing any day, which is at or near the top for me, followed closely by bobsledding and maybe some hockey. Downhill skiing is pretty exciting. Man, they are flying down those mountains. Whoa.
I'm trying to think.
We got some good downhill skiers, particularly on the women's side.
Yeah. I like watching women's hockey more than I like watching the men's, because I think we win gold in women's hockey.
We're good. Our women's hockey team's really good.
I'm trying to think what else sports I need to look
Figure
up.
skating gets a lot of the primetime coverage. You don't seem like you're that up on the figure skating. And I think we're going to have really good men and women in that, too. We could medal in those.
I like watching the a couple of years, I think the last time around, they implemented the team competition, which kind of, I think, makes it a little bit more fun, where it's, you can kind of all come together. But I'm not a huge fan of the figure skating. But I need to look up Olympic sports. I kind of like watching the bobsled.
It is fun. And you have the one from the Caribbean is back. The Jamaican bobsled team is back. They qualified.
Oh.
They are back. Remember, there was a movie made
Feel
about
the
that.
rhythm. Feel the...
Was it Cool Running or something?
Cool Runnings,
Yeah, it was the name of the movie.
Sanka, you dead men?
They are back now for this year. Dennis on our text line says, give me the Bengals and the Rams. Rams will put the pedal to the metal and not let the 49ers come back. Chiefs should have had a taunting penalty last week in the game. Who knows? And Chiefs fans did send some donations to Buffalo, and they did. There was a bunch of Chiefs fans organized and put together a drive to raise money for a hospital in Buffalo that treats youth. So and they raised $100,000 or something. It was really cool. Chiefs fans, some of them felt kind of guilty that they won that game from Buffalo, ripped their hearts out last week. I didn't feel guilty at all. Hey, our Sports Only Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. Busy hour coming up. Izzy Bourne's going to join us. She was part of that big win last night for the Huskers. We're going to talk track and field with longtime coach Gary Pepin and Chuck Schmelka, Husker men's gymnastics coach. We'll talk about it. They got a big matchup tomorrow with Michigan. That'll be a top 5 matchup in Ann Arbor in men's gym tomorrow. We'll get the breakdown from Coach Schmelka coming up next hour. And winners and losers headed your way at the end of hour 2. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
United Healthcare believes small businesses are vital to our economy and an important part of our communities. Join United Healthcare in celebrating small businesses. I'm Rob Broomfield, United Healthcare of Nebraska's CEO and a graduate of the University of Nebraska. We want to recognize your small business with the Spotlight on Small Business Sweepstakes. Winners receive radio interviews, social media recognition, and more. To enter, visit huskers.com/spotlight. United Healthcare, proud partner of Husker Sports.
You're in the driver's seat with Woodhouse. Shop, finance, and buy your next vehicle your way. From the comfort of your home, at woodhouse.com or one of our 19 dealerships, we've got something for everyone. From new stylish SUVs that blend comfort and capability, or a pre-owned truck packaged for durability and everyday functionality. When it's time to upgrade your drive, shop confidently with Woodhouse, serving customers and communities since 1975. This is Woodhouse.
Here is a before-winter to-do list from J-Tech Construction. Let's start with windows. Triple-pane window technology has saved homeowners countless dollars on heating and cooling bills. Siding serves a crucially important purpose, protecting your home and insulating it from adverse weather conditions. And don't forget about your roof. Designing your roof should be simple and painless, and J-Tech offers several payment plan options. One more thing on your to-do list, called J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul. Not to mention their injury list. Cox, we're sports 24/7. Learn more at cox.com/sports.
Welcome inside the Acres Broadcast Center. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. You may have heard Greg mention it in the first hour, but Husker football got some good news from the NFL today as Austin Allen and Cam Jurgens have both received invites to the NFL Combine. Some more good news. The Huskers women's basketball program announced today that their game from January 22nd against Illinois has been rescheduled. That will take place on February 12th at 2 p.m. You heard in the first hour from Will Bolt. We'll have a couple more head coaches on from the Huskers athletic programs. We'll have Gary Pepin in this hour, as well as Chuck Chamelka. And then looking across some other college sports tonight, looking at the landscape across college basketball in particular, men's side. It's been a quiet night, no Big Ten games, no top 25 games. But on the women's side, number 23, Iowa, is all set. They're just about to tip off against Northwestern. That game is just moments away from its start. Arizona State, later on tonight, is taking on number 2, Stanford. That's at 8 p.m. And UCLA will take on number 19, Oregon. That's at 10. In pro sports, lots of NFL news filtering through. As we were just told, Greg just got the word that it is Brian Daboll heading to the New York Giants as head coach. So he'll follow the assistant general manager, Joe Schoen, that just went from the Bills to the Giants to take their head man role there. Another general manager news, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Andrew and I, is well documented, they're our favorite team. Announced another pending retirement. Ben Roethlisberger announced his yesterday. General manager of the Steelers, Kevin Colbert, who has been the helmsman there since 2000, has overseen 2 Super Bowl championship teams, is also announcing his retirement after the conclusion of the 2022 NFL Draft. And then Jerry Jones earlier today, he backed head coach and battled head coach Mike McCarthy and also extended a deal with Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator, who had been hotly sought after in the most recent NFL coaching hire cycle. And this will just be my nominee for winner or loser of the week. Real quick, a Ottawa Senators hockey fan agreed earlier this season to get a tattoo across his stomach. He did do this. You can look it up. His name is Mason Coney. Got a tattoo of his favorite player, Josh Norris, in the NHL, and there'd become a bit of a story last week after it was revealed that Josh Norris promised he would give this fan a jersey signed by him in return for the tattoo, and he hadn't done it yet. It's been several months, and finally Josh Norris gave this fan, the fan who spent over $1,000 on a tattoo of Josh Norris's face on his entire stomach, finally came through with the autographed jersey. So you guys do what you will with that. And winner or loser, I'm not sure how to categorize that one. My name's Tim Mulhaupt. This has been The Ticker. You're listening to Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Looks for Hyvee, foul line extended right side. Dribble penetration, Sammy drives and scores! Jim Hyvee.
Great finish by Nebraska. They're back within a possession.
Here's McGowan's driving the ball to the rim and jams it right in the face of Payne. Posterized him. Put him on the poster. Burge puts his head down, drives it, floater off the rim, in and out, offensive rebound, put back, up and good by Walker, up and good by Big D.
Moriarty going to take the baseline. And now she's going to drive underneath. Reverse layup, good for Kendall Moriarty. Are you kidding me?
Now that is a big-time one-handed reverse layup by Moriarty.
12:45 to go. Here's Trey McGowan's with a 3. Got it! Trey McGowan's his first three-point attempt of the year. After sitting all these games with a broken foot, his first shot is gold.
82-73, the Iowa lead out top. Markowski for 3. You betcha! Markowski has hit 6 threes.
Unbelievable.
And she's got 27 points.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are back for our final hour of the night, final hour of the week of Sports Nightly, and big hour coming up. We're going to talk some women's basketball, hear from Gary Pepin. Indoor track is well underway. Their third weekend cranking up this week with the Adidas Classic out at the Devaney Center, and men's gym headed off to Ann Arbor to top 5 battle tomorrow with the Wolverines. Chuck Chamelka will join us to talk about his group, which has had one competition already this year. It was the Rocky Mountain Open out in Colorado a couple of weeks ago. So a big, busy hour coming your way here on Sports Nightly. Doug in Norfolk, we were talking about the Olympics. He said, how about the cross-country skiing with the shooting that's involved? That's the biathlon, is that right? That's what
the
name of that is.
biathlon, yeah.
That is kind of fun.
What's it called in the Summer Olympics where they run and shoot? You know, like, because
Yeah,
it's
yep.
kind of the same thing, but it's you are running and
I'll look it
don't
up.
you swim and stuff too? I don't know.
I'll look that up. But this
It's
is
crazy to me how many more sports there are in the summer than there are
way more
Olympics. But I guess there are different breakdowns of, like it just says snowboarding, but there's a lot of different events that in regards to snowboarding, like the half pipe, and then you know. Down the slope, all that. I'm not a Winter Olympics expert by any means, but I was really surprised to see that there's not that many compared to the summer.
It's tiny.
Yeah.
It is tiny. Well, it'll be going in a week. We'll be following that here on Sports Nightly as well. Last night, and all these are great ideas for the bench mob for the Husker women's basketball team to execute in the coming weeks. They executed so well last night and thumping the Badgers by 33.
Yeah, and it felt good for them to get back out there, and I saw a lot of different things, and we talked a little bit about it in the first hour. A lot of different players played minutes, and Coach Williams was able to shuffle some people in and out. I mean, look, even Whitney Brown was able to play 8 minutes, and she came in and did some really good things, but a lot of people played a lot of minutes and kind of was able to shuffle them around. But Izzy Bourne was not in the starting line. I'm not sure if that was something to do with the COVID protocols or whatnot, but Bella Cravens is back in the starting lineup along with Alexis Markowski. But good to see all three of them back out there. And so after the game, got a chance to catch up with Izzy Bourne on Australian night inside PBA. Well, back in the win column. How did it feel to get back out there after the pause?
It was really, really fun, and just to get our win back after a couple losses was really fun, and obviously after a break as well.
Yeah, so with, all the pauses and everybody kind of dealing with the injuries, how did it feel? How did you guys manage all of that over this last couple weeks?
We didn't let it be an excuse for us to not work hard over the break that we had. We had the people who were able to be out there working hard every day when those couldn't, so that's what helped.
And it was Australian night tonight. How did that feel for you, being that they wanted to honor you guys? You guys play such a big part of this team.
It makes us feel really special away from home and important to our team, and we're super grateful for that, and it was good to see Jazz's parents and Ruby's parents here as well. I think it was really special for all of the Australians here.
You guys fought so hard at Iowa and came up short without Jazz and Sam. How hungry were you guys to kind of get back out here and get back in the win column?
Yeah, extremely hungry. That's why we knew that we couldn't take those off days lightly, and we had to do everything we can to come back rolling and not let those losses deflate us.
20 assists tonight. How important was that, the ball movement? Were you guys kind of distributing the ball tonight?
That's something we take pretty heavy on our team, and we take a lot of pride on that, and that's when we're playing our best basketball is when we do that.
And then just a quick turnaround. You guys are playing a lot of basketball here in the next week or so. How do you manage that and kind of balance when you said you felt a little rusty, but kind of getting back out there's got to be good too, right?
No, it's important to take care of our bodies, obviously, and still practice hard, not let it be an excuse as well, because we have a couple of games, but intense focus as well over the next week.
The depth of this team with having everything that you kind of been through, how big has that been that you have so many people that you can call on?
Yeah, that's awesome. And even, like you said, going into this next week of games where we have a few, it's great that we have a deep bench that we can play a lot of people and not have anyone too tired.
And just being back in PBA for 4 straight games, how excited are you guys for that?
We love it here. We love our fans here, so any games we can get at PBA is really, really fun.
And Jazz's parents are here for the first time too, right? You guys know them?
Yeah, I've known Jazz's parents for a while, and it's really fun to see them here. I'm sure they're tired after a long trip today, but it was great to see them. So.
And the Aussie flags up there in the stands too.
Yeah, it's really fun to see that, and yeah, like I said, it makes us feel very grateful and happy to be Australian.
I talked to a lot of little girls in the stands today, and there were a lot of them that said you were their favorite player and Jazz are their favorite player. And just being from Australia and being accepted here in Lincoln, how special is that for you guys?
It's really special. Obviously, being away from home can get hard at times, but to have people like that look up to you and keeps you motivated to keep playing and working hard for those people that you want to work hard for.
Okay, and so what's the goal next? You turn right around, play back on Sunday. What do you guys need to do to get ready for that one?
Not let this win get to our heads, go back to our hard work and focus that got us this win and hopefully get another one.
Perfect. Thank you. Greg, I'm so mad. I'm kind of an idiot. I forgot to completely ask her about receiving the Latimer family women's basketball scholarship. She was actually, they honored her and they presented it last night in game, and it's the first endowed scholarship for the program in school history. And so I know it was a big honor for her, and I just completely forgot to ask her about it. But I know she put out a tweet saying how honored she was to receive that, and that's so important to have those endowed scholarships. That's
Sure
a big thing for the program, and so a huge shout out to the Latimer family who donated this scholarship, and I know Izzy is just so thankful and grateful to be the recipient of that scholarship.
And very well deserving, too.
Oh,
She
yeah,
is.
yeah. I'm working on a couple of pieces for National Girls and Women in Sports Day coming up next Wednesday. We're going to do some fun things with that, and it was really neat to be up in the stands and talking to a lot of young girls. There's so many, and I've noticed that since I've been here, how many parents bring their dads, bring their daughters, and moms bring their daughters, and their basketball teams that come up and watch, and boy, they just love watching that team play, and a lot of them, you ask them who their favorite player is, and a lot of them say Izzy and Jazz, and so the fact that those Aussies have resonated here, I think speaks a lot about them and how they just relate to these young girls.
The Latimers are fantastic. I see them at everything. I mean, they are like all over the place at Husker sporting events, great fans, and I'm glad that they did that, and I'm glad that Izzy's the first recipient of that. Well deserved. Huskers and Purdue Sunday, PB8, 2 o'clock, the next chance to go watch them play. Purdue's not bad. That'll be a much better game than last night's game with Wisconsin, but I'm sure the Huskers will be ready. They'll be ready to roll.
Yeah, and I think it's just we keep talking about the buzz, and there's a buzz. You could feel it last night. The fans were hungry to get them back in the arena, and you get to see them play now 3 more games inside PBA right here, all back-to-back, and I know they would appreciate the fans kind of being there and creating that home court advantage, and let's see what else the bench mob can bring. Let's see if they're going to bring that curling out there.
Oh, that'd be fun. Hey, Nebraska 811 says, go dig rad. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, and it's the law. And time to tell you that Landon Borges of Lincoln has been chosen as tomorrow's men's basketball game contestant to putt for a Porsche. Brought to you by Porsche of Omaha. If Landon makes the putt on the court at halftime, he will win a 2022 Porsche Macan. You can be the next contestant if one of the remaining games. If you want more information on how to get yourself officially entered, go to huskers.com/putt. Landon,
I'm still waiting for my call for that.
You're not eligible. I'm not eligible. Andrew certainly is not eligible for that deal. All right, when we come back, we'll talk some track and field. Week number 3 of the indoor season. Gary Pettit will join us next.
You could win a 2022 Porsche Macan from Porsche Omaha this season. 4 lucky Husker fans will have a chance to win a 2022 Porsche Macan if they make a putt on the court at halftime at one of 4 home men's basketball games this season. Each contestant will receive a pair of tickets, hospitality, and a visit with the broadcast team before one of the home games with Ohio State, Rutgers, Northwestern, or Iowa. For more information and the official rules, go to huskers.com/putt.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. The university has a new undergraduate business and law major. Students majoring in business and law are learning to use legal knowledge to better solve business challenges. They are also gaining skills in regulatory compliance, financial services, securities regulation, and corporate social responsibility. Upon graduation, they will boost the state's talent pool in these critical areas of expertise.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Join your team at the start of the 2022 season when they face the Northwestern Wildcats in Dublin, Ireland in August. Single game tickets on sale this coming Monday, January 31st. Don't miss out on the trip of a lifetime. Single game tickets on sale this coming Monday, January 31st. Learn more at huskers2ireland.com. That's Huskers, the number 2, Ireland.com.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
This isn't the start. Before I got here, I started training. And before that, I did something to my back. But my first move was Athletico Physical Therapy. That's where I'd eventually end up. So why not start there? I mean, my therapist immediately found the source of my pain. These are the same physical therapists who work with elite marathon runners. So soon, I was back to running, but without pain. You got this.
It all starts at Athletico. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com.
From sprains and stitches to sore throats and sinus infections, when it's care that can't wait, count on CHI Health Clinic Priority Care. Simply walk in 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll get the quality care you need without an appointment, and you'll never pay more than a regular primary care visit. Get in, get out, and get on with your day. Find a location near you at chihealth.com/prioritycare.
Did you know that cigarette butts make up a large portion of microplastics in the ocean, which end up in 70% of seabirds and 30% of sea turtles? Bank of the West is helping to solve this problem by not financing big tobacco, proving that what a bank chooses not to finance can be just as important as what it does. Learn more about what we do and don't finance at bankofthewest.com/change. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Cornerstone Bank proudly serves Nebraska with a full line of loan and deposit products. Cornerstone is large enough to handle all of your financial needs while offering the personal service you deserve and the local decision-making you expect from a family-owned community bank. Stop in or call one of the Cornerstone Bank locations near you to discover the Cornerstone difference. Bank on a solid foundation. Cornerstone Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval. Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. It's the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Delighted to be joined tonight by Husker track and field coach Gary Pepin. The Huskers have had a couple of indoor meets. We'll have the Adidas Classic here this weekend at the Devaney Center. Let's just start. How have you felt like the first couple of weekends have gone?
Well, it's been real difficult in terms of getting real strong and competitive teams in to compete against. And so in some cases, we have athletes in there that their best competition are the people that are on our own team. Both teams, like I guess most all the other sports at the university here, we've been fighting the COVID battles as well. And so we've got somebody for a while and then they're gone. And in most cases, fortunately, those people haven't been real sick for a long period of time. But to get more specific, there's areas on the team, particularly in the field events, and maybe even more so in the throws in the field events, that are absolutely outstanding. I mean, some of the very best in the United States right now. And some of the other jumps as well. On the track, Darius Luff from right here in town, I think has the 4th best time in the nation now in the hurdles. And so we have some areas on the track that I think we have athletes in there that are talented enough that if they keep improving, will be able to help us at the conference level or maybe even beyond that. But so we're off to a strong start in some areas, and some areas not nearly as good as what we would like to be, but at least we're off and running anyway.
You've brought some new blood in on your coaching staff. How has that gone? Are you pleased with that transition?
Very, very much so. We have some terrific new coaches in, and I think with lots and lots of enthusiasm. They brought success with them. We have some situations in which we have a woman back on the staff that we haven't had for a long time. I think that's real great for the young ladies that we have on our team. So, yes, and in the case of particularly in the throws, Justin St. Clair, who came here from North Dakota State, just his name and presence here has lured other outstanding athletes to come here. And this is a guy that, with the reputation he has, with certainly a great majority of recruits out there, we can get in the ballpark recruiting just because of him. And on top of that, though, he's a great guy and a family guy. And the same thing with the other coaches that we brought in. And so I think our staff has kind of rejuvenated and really are enjoying each other and working together, and I think we're on a good path.
He was, if memory serves, he was repping the N at the Olympics because he
Yeah,
had a
that's
throw
right.
there, right?
Yeah, and I tried to hire him once before, and couldn't hire him at the time. And his coach in college, he went to University of Washington where he was a javelin thrower, and his coach was a guy by the name of Ken Shannon. Ken was one of our Olympic coaches, great coach, also a real good friend of mine. And so we kind of had a connection at that point. And as I said, then when we had an opening the first time, I tried to hire him and couldn't get him hired. And so when I had an opening again, I wanted to try to hire him. And it was a little bit of a battle because there were so many other schools that were after him as well.
All right, let's talk about some of the people I mentioned to you before we started. It looks like you've got some good throwers. And not all the throw events go on the indoor side, but tell me, I know Berger's back on the men's side, but tell me about some names that you're excited about.
Well, Berger, yeah, Berger is ready, I think, to even have some bigger throws, and of course, is a great guy from South Africa. And we have another guy in there as a thrower by the name of Alex Talley. And Alex drifted down from the northlands of North Dakota, and last year, he was an NCAA scorer indoors in 2 events and outdoors in 2 events. And I'm not sure if we've had a thrower do that before. We haven't had very many at all. And right now, he and Berger are having some great competitions. I don't think that Berger's ever beat him yet, but I know Berger certainly wants to beat him and stuff. And so those two are really doing well, and Talley throws the weight as well. And so I think that he broke our school record in the weight the first meet that he was in down at Manhattan this year. And on the women's side, same thing. We have a young lady in by the name of Axolino Johansson from Sweden. And I believe she was 20 or 21 years old, but she's a tremendous shot putter. And that's an event where normally as people get older, they get better up to a certain age, of course. And she was ranked 34th in the world last year in the shot put. So she's really going to help us, and she can also throw the weight indoors. And then we have another young lady that transferred, Taylor Latimer, from Kansas State. And she's a real good thrower in all of the weights, and so those 4 people are really going to help our team and help the competition and the level of development with the younger people. And as a result of those people, now we have at least 2 Olympians who are out in that area just training with Justin. So that's great, and our younger throwers can see those people, and of course they watch them and all those kind of things.
Kaylin Meyer's getting some attention for you too, Coach, and she's playing some volleyball for Coach Cook, but you got her out there on the track with you.
Yeah, and of course we had a considerable large number of her family members that have been throwers for us in the past, and of course her dad Andy, who was a great thrower for us and was the head coach out at Kearney for a while, and yeah, she is a outstanding prospect. I think 2 years ago she was the #1 discus thrower, high school discus thrower in the United States, and 2nd or 3rd in the shot put. And I know a year ago, of course, she didn't train or throw with us or anything, but I guess she went out and practiced one day with her dad and threw the discus, which is right now her best event. a distance in practice with virtually no training or anything that would have been third in the conference outdoor meet. So she's she's really an outstanding prospect, and I mean, she's certainly a young lady that I can see competing at a very high level and maybe getting to the Olympic trials level and all those kind of things.
Did you have to give Coach Cook a can of Diet Pepsi or something?
No, he and I arm wrestled, and I whipped it. No.
Very good. All right, let's talk about some jumpers. I know you love to talk about the jumpers. Who stood out to you early in this season?
Well, we have a young lady by the name of Gina Rogers, who a year ago didn't compete virtually not at all, and she had various injuries. And as I think a sophomore in high school out of New York, she was really, really a star. And then the next 2 years she jumped well, but she didn't jump as well as what she had jumped early on. Well, in the inter-squad meet, she came right out and jumped 6 feet in the high jump first meet out, which was real good. So she's certainly a young lady that has the potential to be in the national meet and be a scorer in the national meet or win a conference championship. And I think she'll be just a freshman for us. So she's got a good future ahead of her. Then we have two really, really outstanding long jumpers, women. One of them is returning, who's a sophomore. Her name is Lisa Ilves, and she's from Estonia. And last summer she was voted as the track and field athlete of the year in Estonia, which was really nice. And this year she sent me a little picture, and it had a trophy on it and so forth, and I didn't know exactly what that all meant. But when she brought that trophy back over here, she said, I want you to see my trophy. Well, the trophy was for me. And I had no idea, because they had selected me as the national coach of the year over in Estonia, and I thought, well, that's a nice honor. I haven't ever had that one before. So, but she's really a good athlete and a great gal, and by the way, it's kind of interesting. A farm girl, her and her sister, and so hard workers, and she kept telling me about limousines. And I had no idea what she's talking about. Cows. Well, that's a type of cow. Yeah, I didn't know that at all.
I used to do the farm markets.
Yeah.
I got that.
Oh, you got that down,
yeah.
pat. Well, and then we have a young lady that has tremendous potential. Her name's Mikhail Assante, and she's from Germany. And as long jumpers go, she was 18 last year, and in international competition, they have an 18 and under class, and then a 20 under in class, and then everybody. Well, as an 18-year-old, she was #1 in the world in the long jump just real close to 22 feet. And so she's one that's had the virus, and so we were hoping that she'd get to compete this week, was going to be her meet, but then she came down with that, and so probably the Husker invite is when she'll open up. So those two are really, really doing well, and we have other people that were on our team a year ago, like Darby Thomas and Zion Pearson, and a little girl by the name of Ashley McElmurray from Montana, who are really well as good athletes as well. So, and they're getting better, so that should be a real strong group for us and stuff, particularly on the women's side. And of course, on the men's side, the high jump is a really big event for us. I mean, we certainly have all kinds of talent in that area. Mason Connor, who was an All-American last year in the high jump, he's back. A little Mikey Hoffer from Topeka, Kansas, who's a long jumper, high jumper, and doing a great job for us. So those people are just doing a absolutely terrific job in there, have a lot of ability. And then we have some young people in the high jump coming up that we think are going to be really, really good as well. So we'll see how they progress, and they were certainly outstanding in high school. The long jump is an event for right now for us that's good, certainly at the conference level. I mean, if you can jump over 24 feet at the conference level, you can be competitive. We have about 4 or 5 people that have either jumped that far or further. So that should be good for us. And in the triple jump, that can be a strong event for us as well. We're going to kind of have to see how it goes. But so on the track is where we got to keep getting better and keep improving.
Getting busy with Gary Pepin, Husker track and field coach, the Adidas Classic, 10:30 tomorrow at the Devaney Center, and then next week the Frank Savine Husker Invite. That'll be fun. That's and then you're going to hit the road a little bit for some meets.
Yeah, we'll either part of our team will go to Pittsburgh, down to the jungle down there with the gorillas, which is of course a absolutely wonderful town. Since I came from there, I have put that plug in there. Or we'll go to Fayetteville, Arkansas. And so those should be two good meets, and you're exactly right. That'll be their first time on the road. And we like to always get on the road at least once before we go to the conference or beyond. But at the same time, certainly in the past, having the advantage of having indoor meets has been terrific because the kids don't miss school as much. You don't have to travel in the winter when it's more dangerous. You're saving on bucks. Traveling and so forth, so that part I think has been helpful to us.
Very good. We had Trev Alberts on earlier in the week. He gave us an update. Said your outdoor track is in pretty good shape. Phase 2 is still a ways away, but he's at least happy with the way phase 1.
He is. He's very supportive, and which of course is a great plus for me. And I think that he wants to have a great facility out there. So our staff and myself, of course, really appreciates his support.
Good. Good to see you, Gary. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Gary Pepin, Husker track and field coach, with us here on Sports Nightly. Buckle up, put that phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. More of the show coming up.
The game isn't just about winning or losing. It's about the snacks they share after they've used up all their energy in the field. It's the early morning practice before school and staying late after to get a couple more kicks in. It's the pride they feel for their team and the determination to always keep improving. Sure, the game isn't always about winning or losing. But when they've won the big game and celebration is in full swing, there's only one thing left for you to do. Get them home safe. Buckle up and back. Paid for by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to listen in on a transmission from Major Laura Stanton, the first person on Mars after a 7-month mission to the planet.
Houston, do you read me?
Copy that, Major. Anything you need?
Yeah, what were last night's Powerball numbers?
With the starting jackpot in the millions in drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, everybody wants to know about Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery.
What's it look like there, Major?
Red.
Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
At Subaru, they love building vehicles for those who pack a lot into life. The redesigned 2021 Crosstrek is their way of saying more power to you. An upgrade in horsepower means you have a world of fun and adventure waiting for you. And the Crosstrek comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru. Visit DeTow Subaru at 27th Street and Jamie Lane in Lincoln or at DeTowSubaru.com. Upgraded horsepower available on select models.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul, not to mention their injury list. Cox, we're sports 24/7. Learn more at cox.com/sports.
Isn't it about time to add a new piece of Husker gear to your closet? Check out the new 255 collection, inspired by the legendary coach Tom Osborne. With the mission to connect style with Nebraska pride, 255 was designed with the fan in mind. From Hastings to Lincoln, coach to statesman, leader to legend. Thomas William Osborne, it's all in the name. It's all in the numbers, 255 wins. This is TWO 55. Get yours today at shop.huskers.com or other participating retailers. For more information, visit huskers.com/255.
When it comes to style and safety, the 2021 Mazda CX-5 has it all.
From effortless performance and control to sophisticated technology features like iActiveSense, a suite of safety features that come standard. Plus, when you shop with Woodhouse Mazda, our friendly sales staff will help you shop, finance, and buy your way, whether it's in-store or online. View our inventory at one of our 2 convenient Woodhouse Mazda locations or at woodhousemazda.com.
From sprains and stitches to sore throats and sinus infections, when it's care that can't wait, count on CHI Health Clinic Priority Care. Simply walk in 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll get the quality care you need without an appointment, and you'll never pay more than a regular primary care visit. Get in, get out, and get on with your day. Find a location near you at chihealth.com/priority care.
Everyone knows that Dakota Mac is known for their great rates on long-term fixed ag real estate loans. But just how long-term are they? They're even longer-term than the silent treatment your mom gave you after she found out you backed over her peony bushes with the riding lawnmower. Even though it could have happened to anyone. Oof, talk about long-term.
Hi, it's Boyd Minry from Dakota Mac. Give me a call at 402-463-4637 to learn all about our competitive rates on 30-year fixed-rate loans.
Momentum. It's building at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. With game-changing work in precision agriculture, nanoscience, and digital humanities. We're unlocking mysteries in brain research, solving the impossible with remote surgery using robots. And we're creating bold futures with world-leading research in early childhood education. We don't slow down, and we're not letting up. We are Nebraska.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Going to talk some men's gymnastics. Head coach Chuck Schmelko with us here. The Huskers opened their season a couple weeks ago at the Rocky Mountain Open. Pretty good way to launch your season. Tell me, how do you feel like the guys did?
I was very pleased how we did. We were pretty nervous going into the meet. We had some issues the week before, and we weren't sure how everything was going to play out, but the guys, they were tough, and we did a very good job overall.
You had such a great finish last spring to your season. Do you feel like you've been able to kind of keep the momentum going?
Yes, it's been nice. We had a good recruiting class with five newcomers, 4 new freshmen and a transfer, and those guys are all contributing already. And then just having our new workout gym and being able to train for a summer, because if you remember the summer before that,
shut down.
We were closed, yes, so that was rough. But it's been nice transition into this new gym, and the guys are working real hard, safe, more efficient, everything. It's been wonderful.
In your sport, to be shut down like that, that was an unbelievable challenge you had to deal with.
Yes, and you know, in fairness to everyone, every gymnast had to do that. But yeah, there's not much off season, and there's not much cross training we could do. You could do handstands, you could do backflips, but to learn a Kovacs on high bar, you need to be in a gym doing a Kovacs on a high bar. So it was really hard, and we struggled early on, and like everybody else, but we put it together, and some good things fell our way. And again, a tribute to the guys. The guys are tough, mentally tough, and they just kept fighting and doing everything they could to excel.
We talked about the shutdown. That was obviously caused because of COVID. COVID also, and the NCAA wisely allowed an extra year for everybody. How have you been able to massage that, and how has that impacted your team and your roster?
Well, we've been able to keep Jake Benet for another year, which is a huge advantage for us. Jake is such a leader. He's a grown man now, and he just everything he's been through helps our whole team. He really, really is a good influence on the young guys, and they listen to him kind of like a father figure a little bit, and his work ethic is great, in and out of the gym, and they just want to follow and strive to be like him.
It was announced a couple months ago that Dylan King was going to be your captain for the year. Tell me about that young man and the progression you've seen in his career.
It's a lot like Jake Benet, to be honest with you. He started interesting. Yeah, you know, he was growing and did some things, and He was always a good kid, always worked hard, but he kind of swayed back and forth with some things like young men do as they grow. And he has really developed into a stud. And he's a true leader for our team in every aspect there is. I'm super lucky to have him, and he's a wonderful captain.
All right, Michigan's up next. That's the meet in Ann Arbor over the weekend. Size that up for us. What kind of challenge do the Wolverines pose?
Well, they're a great team, and it's going to be really difficult up there. But we go in with a mindset that we don't care. We're just going to go do our thing, do it to the best we can do it, and just see what happens with the final score. They're number 3 in the NCAA and number 1 in the Big Ten. We're number 4 in the NCAA and number 2 in the Big Ten. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a dogfight.
Do you like this kind of a challenge early in your schedule?
Yes. You know, our first 2 meets, what? Stanford, Oklahoma, now Michigan. It can't get any harder. We've had the top 3 teams in the country right off the bat. So, yeah, I'd like to be in a little better shape maybe, but it's what it is, Greg. We just got to do the best we can, and we're ready to go there.
All right, so you were a little shorthanded 2 weeks ago at the Rocky Mountain Open. Feel better? Are you closer now to being full strength?
Yes, much better. I don't know if we could talk COVID with the boys or not, but
getting over some of that.
We're getting over a little bit of that, yeah.
All right.
Our lineup was a mess. We weren't sure who was going to go at Rocky Mountain Open, and the guys we put in really did a nice job. Some guys we had to change some routines because we got them back for 1 or 2 days of practice. That was it. So it was interesting, I can tell you that. But right now we're healthy. We've come off a bye week, which has been a perfect timing for that, and everybody's doing real well.
Do you have some all-around folks that have a shot to do some damage this season for you?
Yeah, Sam Phillips is killing it. He has really had a great summer of training, and he did the all-around at Rocky Mountain Open for us. Of course, Taylor Christophilus, last year's all-arounder, has a bit of a banged-up shoulder, so we're slowing him up a little bit on rings, trying to get him going on the other 5. And then Dylan LeClaire is doing all 6. A couple of the freshmen are doing all 6. They're probably not going to be doing the all-around at Michigan, but they'll be in the lineup on a few events.
Sam Phillips, California guy in your program, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
How's his career been?
Great. He's one hard-working, determined young man, and like I said this summer, he really upgraded his difficulty. Wait till you see him; you're going to go, whoa! And he got a lot stronger. Weight room's been good for him. He's grown into a man now instead of more of a boy, you know, and his strength has caught up to his body. So he's doing wonderful.
Coach, isn't that one of the fun things in your position to see them grow from 18-year-old, where they think they have the whole world figured out when they probably show up on campus, to then how they mature and what they become. A guy like Sam, how much that they mature over their time. And we've mentioned a couple of those kind of guys.
It's incredible. It really is. Just the emotional side of them. Yes, they think they know everything, and they think they're as strong as they're ever going to be and whatever. And then testosterone hits, and bam, the weight room hits, and all the good meals and the training table, and all of a sudden they've gained 10 pounds, but it's all strength. And they're doing more things than we even could have imagined when we were coaching them and recruiting them. And then just, you know, mentally and emotionally, they've grown so much. It's fun to see a boy or a young man turn into a man.
Yeah.
And we're in the position to do that. So it's very rewarding. It's challenging because you got to try to make sure you do everything right to help them do everything right, because, as you know, they can go all over the place.
Sure can.
But we've been pretty fortunate with what we've had and our captain's help.
Only a couple chances for the folks to see you in person, and one of those is in a week with Penn State coming here. I know you'd love to see a big crowd at the Devaney Center.
Oh, it'd be wonderful. The NCAA has adopted a new dual meet format, so you're going to see a different kind of competition than you've seen in the past. It's called head-to-head. And both Nebraska and Penn State are going to start on floor exercise, and we're going to alternate competitors.
Wow.
And then we both move to pommel horse, rings. Then we'll have a 6-minute halftime where we'll do some fun and games and give away some stuff during that. And then we'll go back to vaulting, parallel bar, and high bar. Just go back and forth, back and forth. So the crowd's going to know the team score almost immediately. And
apples to apples,
yes,
too, because
yes,
you're doing the same events.
Yes, it is.
You like this?
Well, I don't know yet. I'm kind of a traditional guy, so I know I like the old format where if you have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 teams, that's how it will be. But we'll see. It's suited for TV, even though we're not going to be on TV. It'll be suited for that. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see how our team fares. We've never done this before.
Interesting. I'm intrigued by that. Again, that's next Saturday, the 5th of February, folks, 6:30 at the Devaney Center. Penn State comes to town. Business at hand, though, is the Wolverines this week. And, Coach, I can't wait to see some results from this thing.
Well, yeah, I can't either. Hopefully we'll do a nice job like we did in Colorado and just go out and bang out and hit routines. Don't worry about scores. Don't worry about anything that's out of our control. And I think if the guys can keep that in check, we're going to do fine.
Sure you will. Great to see you. Good luck on Saturday.
Well, thank you so much. Great to see you.
Chuck Schmelko with us, Husker men's gymnastics coach here on Sports Nightly. Buckle up, put that phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We have more of the show coming up next.
Join your team at the start of the 2022 season when they face the Northwestern Wildcats in Dublin, Ireland in August. Single game tickets on sale this coming Monday, January 31st. Don't miss out on the trip of a lifetime. Single game tickets on sale this coming Monday, January 31st. Learn more at huskers2ireland.com. That's Huskers, the number 2, Ireland.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to listen in on a transmission from Major Laura Stanton, the first person on Mars after a 7-month mission to the planet.
Houston, do you read me?
Copy that, Major. Anything you need?
Yeah, what were last night's Powerball numbers?
With the starting jackpot in the millions in drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, everybody wants to know about Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery.
What's it look like there, Major?
Red.
Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like home like Sapp Brothers. For 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and been a reliable partner to local farms and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment and welcoming guests into their travel centers. Visit www.sappbros.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul, not to mention their injury list. Cox, we're sports 24/7. Learn more at cox.com/sports.
Time to see what's on tap, presented by Bud Light. Husker men's basketball tomorrow, 5:30 against Rutgers, 4:30 for pregame coverage. Kent Pavelka, Jake Muehlheisen will have it for you here on the Huskers Radio Network. And then the Husker women back on the court on Sunday as they will take on a good Purdue Purdue team. It's a 2 o'clock tip at PBA 145 with Matt Codeney and Jeff Grease. That's what's on tap, again, presented by Bud Light. All right, time of the week and time of this show to get into our winners and losers of the week. What you looking at?
I'm going to give my winner to Austin Allen because, a week ago he was not going to the Combine, or he hadn't had an invite, and Jeremiah said he's got to play his way into it, and that's exactly what he did this week at the All-Star game. He said he just, made big play after big play and, had the play of the day at one of the practices. But on top of that, I have a scout friend that talked with him and was just so impressed with how he handled himself and just even a one-on-one meeting. I think he's doing a great job of representing this university and this state, and he is doing everything that he needs to do to get himself to the next level. And, getting an invite to the Combine was a huge step for him.
And I believe the All-Star game that he is playing in is tomorrow at 5 o'clock on the NFL Network.
Yep.
So I wish him luck.
Yep.
All right, how about your loser?
Jeff Garcia comes
you took
out.
my loser.
Oh, that's what
fine.
you're going
No, yeah, that's fine. We can double up.
I mean, just going after Mina Kimes, and I think Mina Kimes is great, but I hated his take on it that, basically she can't know what she's talking about because she never threw a pass. There's a lot of people in broadcasting that, if that's the case, that wouldn't be in broadcasting, that didn't throw a touchdown pass ever in their lives. So I didn't like his take on it. There's a lot of people that have come out against Jimmy G, and why he had to go after her, I don't know. So and it's just, I didn't really like him as a player, and I don't like his hot takes by any means, especially coming after women in broadcasting. And Mina does a great job. So
she's very good. Omaha gal, Mina is. All right, my winner's Alex Talley. We talked about him earlier in the hour with Gary Pepin. He's the shot putter for the Husker team, a new addition to Gary Pepin's track squad, named earlier this week, the second time in the month of January. He's been named the Big Ten's track athlete of the week. Right now has the number 5 throw in the country in the shot. Might be able to better that this weekend over at the Devaney Center as they have the Adidas Classic. I'm going to go against all the haters of Brittany Matthews. Now, that is Patrick Mahomes' fiancée. She was seen spraying a champagne bottle at the end of their amazing victory the other day, and people around the country were like, oh, that's just disgusting. They got to lose just so we don't have to watch something like that again. Why not? She's having fun. She's celebrating with fans around her. Let her have some fun.
You're a loser of the haters that hate
haters of her.
And I saw that fans told her to do it, and they were loving it.
Absolutely.
And I saw a lot of people kind of come to her defense because she invests a lot into the community and does a lot of things, charitable work that is not necessarily publicized as much either. And, she loves her team and she loves supporting them. And so, I'm with you. I think it was a big overreaction that people got so mad at her for spraying. Did you see the fans? They were loving it down there.
Absolutely. People were throwing beers up in the air after the end of that game anyway. So, I mean, come on. That was just crazy. And I think it was Barstool that sent a really mean tweet at her for that. So, I hope she's doing the same thing again on Sunday afternoon, that she's playing the Bengals for that. So those are our winners and losers for the week. Our Sports Only Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations, simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, and buy online at woodhouse.com. We got confirmation today that Scott Frost will have a press conference on Wednesday. That's National Signing Day. Don't know if the Huskers will do much. They might add another person or two in the signing class, but we've not heard from the head coach in almost 2 months. So a lot for him to talk about. So we'll have a lot of reaction for that on Wednesday night's show. I can't wait for him to talk about some of these transfer portal players, quarterbacks.
Yeah. We haven't heard anything about that. We haven't been able to, because, again, part of the university rules, we couldn't talk about them until just even the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
So, it'll be fun to hear him talk about all those guys.
So that's coming up on Wednesday for next week. That'll do it for us tonight. Thanks to Tim, to Molly, to Jessica, and all of you. Have a great weekend. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Experience the difference at Woodhouse Buick GMC. Discover the all-new 2022 GMC Sierra 1500. Its powerful engines, bold presence, and innovative features give you superior capability. Or take your next adventure to new heights in the 2022 GMC Canyon. It's engineered and equipped to handle whatever action lies ahead. Shop our indoor showroom or purchase online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to listen in on a transmission from Major Laura Stanton, the first person on Mars after a 7-month mission to the planet.
Houston, do you read me?
Copy that, Major. Anything you need?
Yeah, what were last night's Powerball numbers?
With the starting jackpot in the millions in drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, everybody wants to know about Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery.
What's it look like there, Major?
Red.
Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska's new collaborative biosecurity lab is leading research to safeguard America's food supply against growing threats in partnership with the U.S. Departments of Defense and Homeland Security. The lab brings together world-leading expertise in agriculture and a deep understanding of the complexities of strategic deterrence across the threat spectrum and in multiple domains.
Get your free COVID-19 vaccine at Hy-Vee. Go to Hy-Vee.com/mypharmacy to schedule an appointment. That's right, just go online and reserve your time. Getting your vaccine has never been easier. This is your shot to help protect yourself and your loved ones from the COVID-19 virus. Just go online to Hy-Vee.com/mypharmacy and schedule your